Hello, welcome back to another playtesting session for the Song of the Fae, which, as you might be able to see from this logo here, we've slightly changed the name of the game. So that's going to be a theme in this episode. A lot has changed since I last chose to do a video on showing off the way it looks. I don't really think there's that much point in me giving a preamble to all that, other than showing you what's happened. But as I set up for a run here, I guess, talk a little bit about context. You might notice that we've got a few opponents in this list on the main screen now. The text box up here says the wrong thing. That's also a theme. There's a lot of stuff that's broken at the moment because we've been changing everything. So let's hop into this. I start playing against Cormag, and you will see. I don't think I've done a video that shows off anything really that we've done in the past like month or month and a half even, actually. So we've been kind of heads down trying to just get something playable and really fix the scope of the game in place. And I think we're getting pretty close, which is why I'm recording this. So this room, I probably have talked about this, I think, but just in case I haven't, this is the preparation room. At the moment, this lets you play around with units in a way where, like, these are enemies that aren't going to hurt you. Like, they can't really do anything bad to you. And you can just see how the units work, and you can re-roll your army here, importantly. So you can try different random units out if you get sick of the starting configuration, which, like, I'm sick of it because I make the game, so it's mostly for me. So I just realized I haven't got the sound on. I'm going to just quickly turn the sound effects to some level so I can hear them. That should make a noise in the recording. I did test it before, so hopefully that is working. And yeah, you can basically just mess around in this room. The scarecrows just respawn as soon as they get killed, as you saw. So this is just an infinite chamber. We'll just start a run, shall we? I'll play with the standard party first in the first biome just to show off all the new stuff. So this map probably also looks kind of unfamiliar to most people who followed the game. It really is very similar to the previous map. We mostly changed how it looks, but the way it works, as you'll see, the bard has hopped here to my cursor. You can only stand in vacant squares, so you can only go to things that are adjacent to those vacant squares right now. So I've got access to this reward room, this combat room, and this combat room. Because we're greedy, let's get rewards first, and I'll show you some more work in progress stuff. Cool. So I've been reworking the UI for how shops and reward rooms work, so you don't have to... It used to be that you had to go and do this to get a reward, like hop up to it. Now, that actually doesn't do anything except make a noise, which it shouldn't, actually. Maybe that's the first thing we should write down. I've got my my text edit document of problems with the game to record. So, Bard still sings to upgrades and traits on pedestals. Pedestals, yeah, that's the one. Cool. So, if you can't get them by standing next to them, how do you get them? You click these buttons. That's it. So, I got a skill upgrade, I give it to the dog, I get a trait, I give it to the merc. That makes sense. So, that means you don't have to move the bard around inside reward rooms and shops, which is definitely a big improvement. Let's go to this encounter. So, yeah, the map is simpler to operate now as well, as I'm sure you can see. You just click an encounter to go into it instead of having to pick the path through. That was a decision that we debated a lot about, and we're like, you know what? It's better this way. It looks cooler, it's easier to play. And we've been doing a bunch of playtesting with some local Brisbane indie devs lately, so a lot of my changes have been informed by, you know, real people in real life, which is always good. You might have noticed that the units automatically get placed in this biome now instead of letting you place them. It's different depending on how far into the game you are and how difficult it is. We've been working on the unlock progression a lot lately. So, enough ado, let's fight some enemies. Oh, actually, let me show you this cool thing. I just built this. So, there's problems in some places where it's hard to see things in the game, but specifically, it's really hard to know how this game should be played with a controller or like on the keyboard because it's isometric. What do the arrow keys do to move the cursor around? Not obvious, right? There's many solutions. People have done this a lot, but you know what you can do? You can make it not isometric. Oh, ho, ho. Yeah. So this is the orthographic view, like 3/4 Pokemon view, and we've also got full top-down view now. So you can cycle these by pressing W or this button on the toolbar, and you can also still rotate in each form. So yeah, this is the benefit of building the game in 3D from the beginning is that this was possible. I never thought we'd want to do this, but it's really cool. So Now I've said all of that. Let's kill some noobs. You are cowardly. That's bad. You are parasitic. So we can get a kill. Well, let's do the maths here. If we don't kill this, you're going to move here and you're going to try and kill you. Regardless of what I do, you're actually going to try and kill my units, actually. So I think the smartest thing to do... Oh my god, I might regret this. I think this is the best move, to take this this unit out immediately. Nice. Yeah, maybe that was the best move then. So you get strong enough to kill you. This is a good start. All right. Maybe I'll play in different views just to test that they work, because I only really added these quite recently. You can't defeat any... Oh, yes you can. There's a lot of ways to approach this next part. Let's see what we can get to happen. Getting some frame rate issues. I don't think that's because of the game, though. Some combination of Unity and OBS. That's bad. I just played straight into that. Sorry, I'm clearly not paying attention. Why am I apologizing to you? It's probably more interesting when you see me lose. I usually just beat everything. That was also stupid, but it paid off. You're gonna go there. Yep. And then we can move this. Well, let's be smarter. How much smarter can we actually be? Stand here. Damn it. Not what I expected. You'll have to... Yeah, you can only move to one spot, so you will have to come back there. Let's put you like that. Oh, I didn't anticipate. Stand there. I think that's the most likely place for this to pay off. And then, I mean, this is still not good because, like, well, you're going to do it this turn. Yeah, because the enemy was getting the loneliness debuff for being the only enemy in the room anyway. Okay, well, we did it. Small things. I made the exit room button smaller. That's not a huge deal. Rewards. So, Vim works a bit differently to how it used to. You'll see there's 2 batches of Vim I'm getting here. These should be rolled into 1. But the way it works now is that you get base Vim for doing combat encounters, and you get Vim for any units you kill or lose in the encounter, which is how it worked before. But now if you run away, you forfeit your Vim, and you only get it if you actually beat the room and defeat all the enemies. Finally, running away has a punishment associated with it after all this time. Let's get some more rewards, and then we have enough money to go to the shop, so we'll do that after 2. Awesome, we do like a free unit. I don't seem to have any sound now, but I think that's just because there's no sound in this process. So let's write that down too. No sound when recruiting reward room unit. There's likely no sound when getting trait / stat change. No sound when buying anything. I'm preempting that one even though we haven't been to the shop because it's definitely going to be true. I have deliberated whether... Oh, by the way, I know that the bar doesn't work properly on this map. Like sometimes it just stands in the wrong spot and goes inside things. We're getting there. That's not even getting written down. That's just a long-standing issue. Let's go to the shop. Yeah, so similar... I didn't explain this properly. This UI obviously isn't done above their heads because it's just got a random GUID here with an icon. This will say what the thing you'd be buying is, as well as the cost of it when it's working properly. Right now, you can still hover over everything, so it's not like it's a problem. But it is a little strange looking, obviously. So, with 8 Vim, you've kind of got to pick up a unit. You're bigoted blood. That sucks. Let's get this rogue. Bog standard rogue. Nice. We have 2 Vim. Not enough for anything. Let's go. I should have checked if I could... If it stopped me buying things I couldn't afford. Or whatever. Hindsight is 20/20. Let's do this... Oh... No. Let's do this encounter. So... the game is like... In a weird way, very little has changed in terms of what happens in these rooms, even still. It's really the macro structure of it that we've been working on. So, That'll become apparent in a little bit as I get closer to the boss, but I'll talk to you about that as we after I get through this initial wave of enemies, because I got to think for a sec. So you are losing attack for all the others. That's good for me, but whatever. Best move, best move, best move, best move. Not clear. What are you gonna do? You're going to move this somewhere. You can attack something with this. You're going to move this in here, maybe. I like this. Oh, yeah, you can see there's a problem. In top-down view, dog flips into ground and disappears. Yeah, there is a dog here still if you come back to these views. Voila. I guess for some reason the dog is flatter on the ground than anybody else. I don't really understand that. Now, nice. You moved here, which means they've got a perfect setup for the Lancer to charge you. I might use this for you still. Yeah, and that's what I was hoping, because I can do this. He didn't attack, by the way, because zero attack will prevent the attack phase even proccing. Oh yeah, you can see the Vim here, right? You have 2 Vim, and you have +2 Vim, which you will get if you beat this encounter, is what this UI says. If you run, you forfeit this number with the plus next to it. I might show that at some point, but I do need money currently. So this is sort of like a very chess move where I need to like activate my bishop, because it's not doing enough currently. Oh, that was kind of dumb, but we did survive. We can do this probably. Yeah, that works. Awesome. We also need to activate the Lancer a bit better because it sucks right now. We need to move it down. What we need to watch for is a unit like this with 5 attack can kill our rogue out of nowhere. So we need to make sure that that doesn't happen, obviously. I don't have a great solution for preventing it though, so this will likely get you interested, won't it? Oh no, you're heading up that way. I think this is good. Yeah, of course you'll try that, but that's not a big deal because we can do this, overkill you. We've talked about maybe getting bonus Vim for big overkills. That might happen, I don't know. It's a cool feature. It's just one of those things that, like, does the game need it? Hard to say right now. And we're trying to get a little bit more serious about scope trimming. Maybe that's the way to put it. Like, we've been fighting bloat the entire game. Obviously, that's what all games are like, but recently we've been getting really focused on the path to release. And, you know, I think we're going to get there pretty smoothly from here. Not quickly still, but smoothly. It's kind of nuts that you're like, the game's almost finished. Also, I still have like 6 months worth of work at least. Because, like, yeah, it feels kind of complete, but at the same time, you can see all the rough edges. That's what we're writing down today. I'm feeling really good about the progress we've made recently, though. We, maybe I'll get into this a little bit. I said it at the start, too, but yeah, we haven't put out a build in a while. So I'm just checking that I want these and you. Who do we give this to? Yeah, it's really good on you. It's really good on you as well. You know what we need to do? Randomize which units are selected from army when automatically deployed. Because, yeah, in the first biome, you can't pick which units get deployed from your army, which is intentional, but now it seems to be picking only the most boring ones every time. It might be random already. Let's see what we actually get. But first, shop. So I was saying, sorry, distractible because I'm playing the game. We haven't put a build out in a while. Cats and dog shop. We haven't put a build out in a while because we've been trying to get the onboarding and general like first player experience worked out to some degree. So from a design point of view and implementation point of view, that's where like all our attention's really been, is on like not just how to tutorialize the game, although that is a huge part of it. We are building out a tutorial. It's more progressively unlocking content and the progressive exposure to the layers of complexity of the game, because we built like all this stuff and now we have to work out how the player actually experiences it. So yeah, we've been sort of holding off and putting a build out because it's been a bit chaotic, to be honest. Things have been like changing shape constantly. So I like cat. Cat is good unit. Tash the cat. Mora the team ordered dog. I mean, a team ordered dog is good, and yet we already have a dog, so let's buy a cat. And then let's just see what happens when we go to a combat encounter. It is random. We had the bug again where it didn't spawn any enemies in that one room. I think I might know why. Is this because they were all out of bounds? Probably. I think I finally understand this bug. That's cool. That's good to know. It's not good in terms of the behavior, but whatever. Free money. And then we'll go to the boss fight. So, yeah, this is actually like... The game is really short in terms of one run now, which was another change we took a while to decide on. But if I beat this boss, I win the run. And we've only been playing for what, like 16 minutes with me talking? And that's kind of what I'm looking for, honestly, is that like... This game's really mentally challenging in terms of like how much actual brain power it starts needing, especially in rooms like this, to the point where we just said like, well, maybe it shouldn't be that long, and you can just play it multiple times if you still have energy in the tank afterwards. Shoot you. I don't know if you can hear it in the mix, but there is a very faint cat meowing sound that comes out. We can defeat you by doing this. So we don't need to take out so many, oh no, of these units, but at the same time, like, why not? I didn't think about that, but sure. So I can also do this. Nimble and cautious. Neither of which seems super good. This seems better. I haven't tried this these rooms in top-down or orthographic yet. It's a little big in top-down. It just barely fits. Yeah. Okay, so you can take you out. I mean, why not do that, right? We're still talking about a change to these bosses where... I'm pretty keen on this one, which is why I'm talking about it. Instead of this health bar approach where, like, I haven't done any damage because I haven't been hitting the boss, we've been thinking maybe the boss, instead of just a bar, should have, like... I don't know what you call them, like shield generator orbs, quote unquote, in the corners of the room, so that you have to send units out there to break those, and then the boss becomes vulnerable or something and can be killed. Because the health bar, we sort of did it just to be like, this is a boss, and it does tell people that, but at the same time, it's kind of weird, because you can just do what I'm doing here, and like, you can fight all the units in the room, but honestly... A better strategy is probably to just focus the boss down as quickly as possible. And, like, it's very effective to do that. And so it sort of subverts the point of this room, in my opinion, to have that happen. Oh no, we got defeated, big time. We can shoot you. Always appreciate a little shot from a distance on the boss. Yeah, we don't give a shit about that. However, we probably want to do this to get rid of you. Yeah, the monk, huh? What about a big hit like this? Like, you'll move, but you'll probably kill my rogue. That was a... I was willing to sacrifice it. This is the other thing. Sorry, I should say this. That, like, because this is the boss, and it's the end of the run... You can, and probably should, YOLO your units a little bit more than you normally would, because there's no reason not to. Like, the game ends after this, so you should try and sacrifice things tactically. This is something that I think has actually been sorely missing from the game, is that, like, it's chess without sacrificing in the other designs that we've explored, but this one does incentivize you to build towards the boss fight and then throw everything you've got at winning it. Which, to me, feels much more rewarding than what we've landed so far. You know, I was going to say don't shoot the boss, but actually do shoot the boss. The thing is, this can't kill this, obviously, so... you've got to start thinking about what the point of the moves are. Maybe you come down here. No, my dog. Okay, well, at the risk of getting completely screwed, let's keep going. Good luck defeating my enemy, so my unit. You can't do it. You can inflict luck damage on me, though. Oh, you did defeat my unit. I was just stupid. Can't move the archer. Can move the bard. I got 3 luck. The cat. Cat can do some work. But not easily. Like, how about this? Where you going? Not what I expected. That's bad. That's really bad. We only have a couple of turns to make this happen. So, the cat can pull Cormac towards it. That's cool. It's going to probably execute the cat now. It didn't. And I can shoot. We're going to do it. Oh, we barely made it. Awesome. This message should go away. Remove objective. Pop up after boss fight. I just want to call out, I fixed a very, very long-standing bug in this room. There are now 8 buttons, 1 for each door, instead of just 4, with 4 of the doors not having buttons. I never used to have anticipated that there would be 8 doors in any room, but turns out there are. The floor's also a bit scuffed in here, if you see. I don't know why that's happening. Well, look, we're on the path. This isn't supposed to be like final quality yet. So we still have a little like interesting design thing to loop to close where I got 18 Vim for this room, but there's no use in having Vim at the end of the boss fight. So we'll see where that goes. Cool, so I get my Vim, and then yeah, the run ends. So voila, 21 minutes, 18 seconds. That might be right. This is almost never right, but it seems like it could be right. We did a pretty good job. Okay, so return to title. Let me show you the busted tutorial that is very much work in progress, because why not? I'm debating whether we should wait longer to release a build, or release a build and turn the tutorial off, or if I should be like scrambling to make this like passable, because like you come in here and you're like, whoa, what am I looking at here? Like it's just it's very bare. It's fine. The way this works is that you can only go to the rooms in sequential order in the tutorial, which, you know, it's on rails, whatever. And each room in the tutorial is very simple, where, for example, in this one, right, like, there's only 2 units in here. They're called fitulins, which if you look up is another word for a pawn in chess. And so what is the point of these rooms? You literally can't leave this room without mastering the core skill of the game. What is the core skill of the game? It is flanking units. So, for example, even if I charge this with the Lancer, you'll be like, oh, I just can't seem to kill this other unit. No matter what I do, I just don't seem to do enough damage to this unit to kill it. And you'll keep doing this, and you'll keep doing this, and doors, prevent doors unlocking in tutorial rooms. Because you could escape if this counts down. So you have to kind of crack the code and understand that like this, you'll need to attack with 2 of these at once. We might put a thing on screen to teach you that. I kind of prefer for you to just learn by looking at this meter that it is sufficient, and then you can go on. This is like a little bit, it's not handholdy, it's literally a little bit throwing you in the deep end of the tutorial, but when we've tried to design the tutorials in the past, I've hated them because they were basically like, did you know about attack and defense and luck? And like these things are just like, I don't want to drown people in pop-ups and information. I want people to play the game to learn the game, because that's how it works in any game, really. So you can see some of these rooms don't have like complete maps yet. They're just like black void. So what's the point of this one? It shows you that you'll like, the numbers are particularly configured that you still need to be careful. You can lose a unit in this room. These enemies can hurt you, but they shouldn't kill your units unless you're very irresponsible. If you do lose your units, we'll give them back to you in the tutorial. Not a big deal. So yeah, you can charge in like this, for example. Bang, bang. And then what's going to happen here, right? We actually can't do what I was thinking would be the next move. So let's do this instead. And there will be probably some instructional stuff that comes up on screen while you're doing this, but I'd prefer to just remove as much stuff from the screen as possible. And just, there's only so many buttons you can press and so many things you can click. Eventually, people will get this. That's my my hope. My experience with our player base so far has been that a game about chess and like Magic the Gathering elements attracts smart people. So I don't want to treat our audience like idiots. That's the gist of it. Okay, so how about this? God tier move, right? Yeah, so these doors unlocked. That's not what I wanted. But what happens if I do this? Does it still work? I mean, it does work, but do they come back? Because they used to be able to send units for reinforcements by doing that. Let's find out. Just keep wasting some turns while I go towards the doors and see if the other unit comes back or not. Oh, we're going to win now, though. Do I do this deliberately don't win to check if the unit comes back? Maybe it's busted. Part of me wants to turn the game speed up, because this is so simple. Alright, well the unit didn't come back, but that's fine, because they're still in our party when you do that. You just send them out the door for safety reasons. Cool. And it kind of proceeds like this, but we'll just go through the whole thing, because why not? This is where I've been putting all my effort. You can see, like... It's weird, in my opinion, at least it's weird that... Oh, sorry, let me talk about this for a sec. This room, you cannot avoid having this unit die. This is teaching you about the fact that your units will die. That's it. So, like, no matter what I do, I can't actually stop this, right? Even if one of these moves away, I can't kill any of them. And one of them will probably, yeah, do that. But 1, 2, 3, this unit always dies in this room. I was going to say that we really struggle with making these more scripted sequences out of a game that's so procedural, where, like, normally making things by hand is considered easier than procedurally generating them. But when you've already got it all procedurally generating, adding the control mechanisms to allow you to do it by hand is actually quite complicated. Yeah, so the key here is, once again, you just take all the units out by handling your positioning. And this tutorial is like... It's boring to me, right? But what we realized is that the first time you play the game, you're going to feel like a boss just for outsmarting these basic units positionally, because you're getting the grips of the basic skills. We don't need to layer in all that complexity. And this is like, relates to the unlock progression I was talking about earlier. We don't want to drown people in complexity. We actually need to, like, let them in to the game and get exposed to it progressively, quite slowly, because there's a lot in this. And oh, you barked him out the door. You barked him out the door. I've never seen that. I haven't seen that in months, though. That's a good way to win a room. Cool. Alright, and then in here we've got... right, so this is a custom shop designed for the tutorial, but it doesn't have the bars in here yet in front of the unit to stop you like getting to them. But apart from that, it kind of works. So there should be dialogue for this shopkeeper, and there's not in this room. We can afford both this unit and this upgrade, and we'll give this to you. These are not supposed to be the things that are in this shop either, but it will work. This is another combat encounter. We, I think, introduce elements in this room, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, water, metal, metal. Cool. So we've actually reworked the elements system since I would have last done a video as well. And you'll see that in here, the elements, they're not even shown on the UI of the units anymore. And that's intentional, because they have a kind of different role to how they used to work. So I pushed for this one, even though it's been this way in the game for a long time. I really wanted to get rid of all of the non-deterministic... Not even non-deterministic, sorry. All of the hidden aspects of damage resolution, so that you really can look at these numbers and just add them up and know that it's going to work. with the exception being things like the dog or whatever that use their buffs. That's the whole point of them, is to add extra complexity there. But I just thought of a good move, because you can push this guy this way, but he won't die still. So elements don't actually do what they used to do, which is this, like, it used to be that if you had an advantage against another element, you would do a little bit of extra damage. The way it works now is, and I'll show this in a second, there's sort of a favored, there's a season is what we're calling it, that's active. And in the tutorial, there's no season active, but in other areas, there'll be a season active, and the season dictates which units are stronger and weaker depending on their element. So that's kind of like, the season is either going to be set once at the start of the run, or it will be changed very infrequently by special events during the run. And so elements become more of a tactical background element for building your party composition, where you see this, the spread I've got here, right? Like, it'd be really good if air was the dominant buffed element for my party. And you might get a hand of units that are all bad elements based on the current season, and in that case you'll have to switch it up and try and get different units. We're also probably going to introduce an upgrade that lets you change the element of a unit in line with that. And all these things together, I think, make elements much better than they were before, personally. Like, I was talking to somebody about this, fellow dev, and they were saying how, like, a lot of games implement elements and type systems like Pokemon just because Pokemon did it, and I'm not saying that, like, there was no more thought than that in our implementation, but it did make me pause and question, like, yeah, is this good? Like, is this what our game needs? We know this mechanic works, but is it serving the function it's supposed to serve? And after a lot of thinking, I kind of decided that it wasn't. It took us some convincing to get everybody on board with that, but yeah, I like it more now. I'm trying not to lose my units. You will kill you with the dog buff, you will bark you, but that doesn't do anything. You have 6 attack already, but cannot attack this turn. You're trapped back here. Let's just bring you out. There was a way to do this maybe, but it doesn't matter. There. So this room, sorry, I didn't actually comment on it, but like, this room just introduces another kind of enemy which has like different stats. It's just so that you can be like, oh, it's not just going to be Fitulins this whole time. And yeah, once again, the door unlocked. You are allowed to run away in this one, I guess. There's no punishment. Like, there's no reason you shouldn't be allowed to here. There is a punishment. You lose the money. Yeah, it started getting lonely because it's the last unit, and boom, we're done. Cool. And prepare to see something pretty broken, but I'll just show you where we're up to with it. The buffs. So there's a little cutscene here where we use this new system that I have barely built out with chat bubbles. I mean, that's a pretty, like, the pacing is messed up in there. It should be a lot faster, but we're trying to do, like, more ignorable dialogue, if that makes sense. I used to have a giant, like, dialogue box that came up at the bottom of the screen for cutscenes, but we sort of want something like that to just be this, like, quick, like, you click through it and you don't have to read it and it's over before you care. It's on rails at the moment, while, like, clicking doesn't advance it as any faster, but, like, I'm going to change that, obviously. It's kind of meant for, like, this isn't a game about cutscenes. That's the long and the short of it. And so I don't want to, like, don't want to build anything super elaborate for it. I just want it to be, I want there to be the ability for the opponent to say things to you without interrupting the entire flow of the game and covering the whole screen in cutscene stuff. And this is one move towards that place. This isn't good. Don't do that. We have a pretty tough time here, knowing what to do. Come down here, support. Ah! It still fucked it up. Okay. This is safer. You'll see what I mean by this. This is safer, except that the bard's about to get sniped out of nowhere. You can lose the tutorial, by the way. There's nothing to stop that. Holy crap. And we are going to lose the tutorial, apparently. Why are you so strong? Gutsy. Well, no one likes that. Yeah, so this is bad. You can see the tutorial is not balanced yet because this boss is giving me more trouble than the boss of the first biome. Um, it's because you have too few units for this boss. We'll have to give you some more units. That's maybe we should put a reward room into the tutorial. That would probably be smart. I will think about that some more because we kind of have a dead room in it now. We don't need the two last rooms anyway. I'll write that down. So consider changing tutorial room 6 to reward room for bonus units before boss. 2, 3, probably 2 units will be enough, I think. Maybe 4 if we want to be really generous so that you just destroy this boss. Because yeah, I'm not going to be able to do it in this one, I don't think. I mean, I can just try and focus the boss down, but realistically, like the bard, yeah, it's going to keep taking luck damage, so I can't really do this indefinitely. Luckily, if they keep chasing... What? Zimzam has too much attack. That's way too strong. Oh no. Well, let's lose. Probably need a surrender button, hey? Instead of just letting yourself, you know, be beaten to death by a bunch of skeletons here on the spot. Oh no, the four skeleton attack. Brutal. Nice. Okay. Well, that pretty much closes the loop. I did talk about this at the start, but I will just iterate it again. The game is now called WizardChess, the Song of the Fae. The reason for this is complicated. We've been thinking that like of the game here that's being played on this table as being called WizardChess since the start of the game. However, we didn't want to call the game that because it wasn't really what the story was about in its initial incarnation, but the more we've done, the more we've sort of found, like, yeah, the game's kind of about wizard chess. It's actually, it's more like wizard chess transcends even this one game, so this became the subtitle, is how we thought about it. Also, because we needed to transition people from knowing one name to another, which, like, renaming something's a big decision, right? Because you're throwing away all that recognition you built up, but I kind of think that Wizard Chess is a much better descriptor of what this game is, and so it says what it is on the tin. I think that's probably the smart idea. I don't know. You can tell me what you think if you have strong feelings about it. We've already changed the name though, but you can tell me if I'm wrong, I guess. Have fun with that. So yeah, hopefully, I don't want to make promises about this stuff because I always feel guilty, but we'll try and get a new build out very soon. I don't want to put something out that's not actually good to play though, because that's the whole point of the milestone we're shooting towards here. So lots of bugs to fix up, but at the same time, it's getting close. I expect that if I put a couple of focus days into polishing up rough edges, we can have a patch out like before the end of this month easily. I just don't know if we're gonna want to keep tweaking the design anymore or not. Knowing us, I mean, the answer's probably yes, but yeah. Anyway, I'll stop rambling. Thank you for tuning into this one. I know it's been a while since I did one of these. I will try and do them more regularly. Like I said, we've sort of been heads down, just like doing the work. But it's nice to actually play the game and talk about it a little bit. So yeah, hope you're having a great one. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.